And thank you everyone for tuning into the Pageantry Now Special on Yashvi Aware, your Miss Mount Vernon USA. We're going to get started here in just a second and we'll be bringing her on to interview her, but I definitely wanted to just take a moment to say thank you to everyone that has been following us at Pageantry Now. It has been quite a journey for us, and we definitely enjoy your feedback and your comments, and we hope that we're providing all the information that you need. Those that just enjoy pageants, those that are considering being in pageants, we hope that we're being of service to you in one way or the other. So now we'll go ahead and get started with our interview with Miss Yashvi Aware, your Miss Mount Vernon USA. Today we're talking to Yashvi Aware, your Miss Mount Vernon USA, about her upcoming pageant tomorrow at Miss DC USA. So Yashvi, you're competing tomorrow at Miss DC USA. Like, how are you feeling?
It's so crazy. Time flew by. I actually decided to compete really late because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get everything together in time, but I made it, so I'm really excited.
Why did you decide to compete in this pageant?
Well, I have this feeling that if everything is supposed to come together for you, it will, and that's exactly how I felt this time. I took my time with it, and pageants for me are so much fun, so I just wanted to continue that fun, doing girly stuff with my mom and getting together that pretty dress. I already have so many pageant things from all those years competing, so it wasn't too hard.
That's awesome that you're deciding to reuse some of the stuff from your previous pageants. That's amazing.
Exactly, and also because my platform is #TheFutureIsGreen, I'm all about sustainability, so why not use your old outfits or consign and take some from your pageant friends? That's what sustainable living and fashion is all about.
I really like the fact that you're carrying over some of your values from the Miss Earth organization regarding the 5 R's over to the Miss USA organization.
Absolutely. It's really about being true to yourself, so I live and breathe living sustainably, so why not take that part of me when I compete in another pageant and use my voice for that platform. And then I also wanted to incorporate what the Miss Universe message about being confidently beautiful is about. And hey, guess what? You get to do that when you're living healthy. You take care of your skin and your body naturally by eating fresh organic fruits and vegetables and using cosmetics and fragrances and things like that that aren't animal tested. That's what I believe in, and that's what I really want to use this platform to share.
So tell me, what is your biggest day-to-day challenge?
Well, right now, the biggest challenge is that it's winter. It's the middle of winter in Washington, D.C. So if you want to get out there and do a tree planting, you kind of can't do that right now, right? Because it's going to start snowing soon. It's just way too cold, not the right season. So for me, I love getting out there, getting dirty in the grass and the mud, planting trees and pretty flowers. And that's really important in areas that are getting beautified in Washington, D.C. It's really important for communities to see that beauty and preserve it. So that's a big challenge for me right now in winter, but hey, it's an opportunity to do things indoors, and that includes going to visit children and doing school tours, which I love to do. I get to read them a book that I had the privilege of authoring and publishing, which is called The Earth Story, and they absolutely love it, and especially when I come in with a crown and sash, their whole day is made. They love it with a big book.
Have you considered taking your book on a much grander scale, such as, shopping for distributors or publishers?
So actually, I really wanted a book that every child could have access to with permission, of course. And I wanted something that anyone could use to help spread the message of green living. So that's why my book is actually available for free. I didn't want there to be any barriers. And also to save paper and trees, it's actually an ebook. So I don't plan on having paper versions of it anytime soon, but if the time comes around, maybe I can work something out with the publisher to have it printed on recycled paper. That would be really awesome.
I'm curious to know, how often do you set goals for yourself?
Well, I definitely have a planner that I write down my goals, and I have my yearly goals. I love doing that because I just feel like it sets the stage for what I want to. I have 12 months to accomplish some amazing things, so why not take advantage of that? And then I always like to come back in my planner and see, man, what have I been doing this past month or this week? It really just depends on what the goal is. But I think it's important to keep yourself accountable, regardless of what your goal is, whether it's weight loss, finishing up grad school, or any hobbies that you have. Keep yourself accountable, have your family members keep you accountable, and don't lose track of the goals that you have, because it's really hard when you're working full time, going to school, and just staying true to yourself. It can get really difficult, but it's important to value that.
Do you find purpose in your work?
Sometimes it can get difficult when you're just running into doing paperwork all day and feeling like, wow, am I really making a difference? But when you look back at the bigger picture, I really do feel fulfilled, and that's why I pursued a degree in psychology. I have always wanted to work with people. My mom is a nurse, so from day one, she's always taught me how valuable it is to care for other people. So I can say that I feel fulfilled. And for those people that feel like they're doing something that doesn't give them the same opportunity, I encourage you to find that elsewhere. If not in your employment, volunteer and find that opportunity. They're all out there. You just have to look for them. And I think if you don't have that feeling in life, it can get really tough on the day-to-day. So I definitely encourage people to find it.
Right, this one might be a hard ball or somewhat medium ball. I'm not sure, but I want to get your thoughts here. Are people defined by the cultures that they grew up in?
So I'm an Indian American. I was born in India and we moved here when I was about 3 years old. And so I've had the opportunity to experience being American and Indian, and it's obviously molded me in so many ways. I mean, I have a name like Yashvi. It's not something you hear every day, right? And I think the amazing thing about culture is that we can inherit it and we can make it part of our everyday lives. So if I see something from your culture, Keys, that I think is really cool, I would love to, with your permission and if you feel comfortable, learn about it and make that part of me. And I think that's the most beautiful part about culture. You can share it. It's meant to be shared. That's literally what culture is all about.
Now, do you have any special trips or events planned for after the pageant, whether you win or learn?
I don't have any trips planned, actually. In fact, the day after the pageant is Martin Luther King Day, which is obviously so important, especially here in the district. So I really wanted to organize a cleanup in the area where Martin Luther King's statue is. And I think it would be a great way to pay respect to what he stood for and stand next to him and with him and all of the young people that will be there, because I volunteered before on MLK Day and it's so many people come out. It's really amazing that you get to be part of that in the nation's capital.
So with the MLK event, that sounds like something you would do as your first event. If you were to win Miss DC USA, that would be your first one, right?
That would actually be the first thing that I would do. It would be an honor as Miss DC USA to be standing on the mall and in front of the statue of MLK, doing service in the community and reaching out with young people and speaking to them about it. It would really just mean so much. And of course, I would love to continue doing work with lawmakers, especially because I think, you know, what better place to get involved in politics and making change than the nation's capital, right? You have the opportunity to do so much, and I really want to continue to take advantage of that.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was a child, I always wanted to be a teacher, and you could walk past my room and you would just hear me talking to myself. It was actually kind of weird. And if you walked in, you would see all of my teddy bears. I'm saying like all 20 of them on my bed, lecturing them, talking to them about math and I don't know what else, English probably. So that's exactly what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to teach, but at a college level. I wanted to be a professor one day and teach psychology and things like that. So hopefully I can get back into it. I actually also used to teach children with autism, and that was so much fun and so rewarding. I loved it. My kids were the world to me. And unfortunately, when I had my ankle surgery, after that, I couldn't really work with them anymore because, you know, when you're working with kids, you got to get down at their level, and I just couldn't do that anymore. So I miss it.
if you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
I would say we're just having fun here. So I would say I am a little nerdy. I'm actually very nerdy, and I think it's a great thing to be these days because you can be smart and it's cherished and people love it nowadays. But when I was younger, if you were smart, it was like, what are you doing? Don't do that. So I love that smart girls are in now. It's amazing. Okay, I would also say that I'm a go-getter. If I want something, I work really hard to make sure it happens, and that goes back to my goal setting with my planner and planning everything out. I think it's so important to have that, especially as women. You gotta be a go-getter in life because there will be so many times where things are working against you and you have to move past it.
Do you believe we're on the right track as far as women working in the workplace?
I definitely do believe we're on the right track because we're talking about it more, and I think that helps change people's bias and how they're treating their hiring process. So I think we're in the right way, but of course there's so much more work we can do, and that all starts with having these conversations. So I'm glad that we really even are.
Okay. All right. Well, what is the third one?
The third one, I would say I'm very compassionate, and that goes back to what I said about my mom being a nurse and instilling that into me from a young age to care for others. And that's really why I've been able to do so much community service, whether it's through Best Buddies, Autism Speaks, American Kidney Fund, just really getting out there in my community. Also because I was born in New Delhi, India, as I mentioned, and my life in India was completely different than what it is here, and people living there live a completely different life. And so I know what it's like to be part of poverty, to not have clean drinking water or even water to take a shower with. So that's why I get out there and I talk about living sustainably and healthy and making sure there's not trash in our waterways, because it affects people and it affects the most vulnerable of us.
All right, so tell me, what are you most excited and most nervous for in regards to the pageant tomorrow?
Okay, I'll start with what I'm most excited about. I'm really excited about swimsuit, which is not something that I would regularly say. And, after I had my second ankle surgery, it was difficult for me to get back into exercising or even walking, which is obviously very important. So to be able to say that I'm even competing in this pageant is a very big deal for me. So definitely swimsuit. So excited because it's been a fitness journey for me, going from not being able to do any physical activity to getting out there. That's a big deal. And then I would say I'm nervous for I guess evening gown, because I'm wearing a type of gown that I've never worn before. So I am excited because it's absolutely beautiful, but I am a little nervous about how the color is going to be. It's a very different color. I can't wait to show you, and very different style from what I usually wear.
What would be your advice to other girls who are looking at competing in pageants?
My advice would be to look inward and find out why you're competing. It's really important, whether it's just because you want to have fun, because you want to use the platform to get your message across, or you want to try something new. Just know why you're going into it, because that is what's going to help you succeed, and that's exactly what I have been doing through all of my pageants, and I'm definitely doing for this one as well.
If your life were a novel, what would be the title?
It would probably be something along the lines of Girl in the Clouds, because my head, I've been told multiple times, is always just in the clouds. I'm in La La Land. It's because I'm an optimist, so I'm always looking for the bright side in things. And I just feel like if you have a dream, go for it. Do whatever you want that makes you happy. So my head and my heart are always in the clouds, just wishing everyone the best.
Why would you be the best candidate to win Miss DC USA?
I've been able to make such a big impact so far as Miss Mount Vernon USA, going into school tours, visiting children, talking about why they should care for the planet. And this platform of Miss DC USA would let me do that on an even bigger level, nationally and even internationally. So I would love that opportunity. And I really believe that it takes a voice to make a difference. And I'm ready and I want to be heard. And this is exactly how to get out there and make that difference for people from all walks of life. So I hope I win, and even if I don't, I know that I have the ability to make a change and a difference. So I'm going to keep on at it, and you'll definitely see more of me, and hashtag the future is green.
All right. right, thank you so much for chatting with me, Yashvi. Here at Pageantry Now, we wish you the best in your pageant tomorrow, and we will be watching.
Thank you so much, Case. I had an awesome time chatting with you, and thank you so much for taking the time and interviewing me and getting to know me better.
Thank you everyone as well for tuning into this interview. I hope you enjoyed it, and definitely like, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever you gotta do to keep track of our upcoming interviews with our other pageant contestants and pageant winners, and those who learned from their experiences at the pageants as well, because we always love to hear how everybody else enjoyed the pageant, whether they win the title or they don't. It's always great to get their perspective and to see, if there's anything that they learned that they would recommend for next time to anybody that's wanting to compete. So just make sure that you always tune in, because you never know who we're going to have on the show. Have a good one.